Well, let's fill up this 6620 with these nice beans, huh? This header control's not working on this, so I'm doing all line of sight with this little bubble over here. I'm just constantly staring at it. It's pretty tricky. There's a lot of rocks in this thing. It's amazing how consistent these beans are for this crappy land out here. We spent a little more money this year on her. It looks like it really paid off. We got a lot of nice rain too. The beginning half of the summer was real wet, so it got them started real well. There's about 1 million rocks out in this field, so I'm just steady watching for them. There's some big boys. Trying not to knock all these teeth off this thing. Kind of hard to do with one hand. I'm in second gear right now. You guys have ran one of these. I'm all the way down to the last gear here for hydrostatic. These are running about 10-11%. There's a few green leaves over in this direction here. Kind of tricky though, I can't even see the bubble right now. I've had to get out a few times and knock rocks off the deck, you know, a big one just laying on it. Can't see it with all this dust. This old 6620 is eating though. We had a breakdown last night. The drive on the head belt broke. I had to drive out to Williamston, which is about 40 minutes from us, to Hudson John Deere. Luckily they had one. We got back and I bet it took us an hour and a half to put the belt on. It's pretty tricky. Had to take a few things apart. Now I'm just hoping this thing stays together for a couple days and get some big progress. I just filled a semi with probably about 900 to 1,000 bushels that Dad just took to the mill. And we have another trailer sitting out here in the other side of the field that I can start loading. It'd be nice if I had it loaded by the time he got back. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I'd say it's going to take him about 3 hours. This has to be the most satisfying job on the farm. I could sit in one of these things every day. Just listening to a good podcast. Well, there you go, see? Big rock on there. Can't even see him. Make sure to shut the head off before you stick your hands in there, kids. I can't believe I haven't blown any of these teeth apart yet. Make sure to idle it down before you turn everything back on. I try to be easy as possible on this thing. I just started in this section, so I haven't got my headlands done yet. It's just this little 3 passes, that's why it's so tight. Usually I'd make 4 passes so I can just make a loop, obviously, but it's kind of a weird shaped field. This is a 915 flex head. I really like this thing. We got it last year, a few days into harvest. We had an old head with the wood section for the roller, for the reel. This is a lot more modern, has a little more flexibility. It's real nice. You're not blowing apart as much. We need somebody to come out and look at it because it's not automatically leveling it. We put a new feeder house on this guy, and we had to take apart all the electronics, and I think we might have missed one, or maybe a wire's touching wrong or something, I don't know, but we can't get it to respond at all. So hopefully we can get somebody out here and look at it. Until then, I'm just eyeing it. It ain't too bad. I don't know if you can see that bubble there, that's what I'm looking at. This was a wet area when we planted, and it's so dry right now you can just drive right through it. I've never been able to do that in this field. Yeah, the prices of soybeans are pretty low, obviously, but we're almost getting a double yield than we did last year, so it's kind of making up for it, luckily. If we had a crap yield and crap prices, we've really been screwed this year, but these guys are real consistent, it looks like. I think it's going to get even better this way. A lot more rocks over there, though. This is the shortest section there and back. A lot of these other areas are nice and long, all the other sides, so production should increase. This is all swamp area here, and I can almost drive right through it. Dry at the perfect time. Last year I got stuck twice in this field. Bad for one-handed. I kind of like holding the steering wheel. I wouldn't want all the fancy equipment. I'd probably fall asleep. Yeah, I can't even see the bubble. I'm just guessing now. Yeah, we're out here in New Hudson, Michigan, if anyone knows the area. This is a 100-acre field here. A lot of our fields are smaller than this, and we have to move a lot, so when you're in a nice field like this, it's a lot easier. We're kind of in an area where we just take what we can get. Can't be real picky on land. We have a lot of organic crops this year, so we'll get to that after all this sprayable beans. This stuff's sprayed. We still do hundreds of acres of that stuff. I think we're going to get out of the organic game maybe next year. It's just too much work for me and my dad. It's just a two-man operation right now, and we're having to mow-bore plow and disc a bunch and cultivate. Trying to stay on the weeds, and man, it's a pain in the ass. We made good money on it for a few years there. It kind of got us ahead of the game, so that was worth it. We can sell all our organic equipment and maybe get a 9500 combine or maybe a nice disc or something. We own, I think, 5 discs now. Keep blowing them apart. This field's one of the reasons. There's all kinds of rocks in there. I think we're going to do no-till on this next year, so we're not blowing everything apart. We have a rock picker, so we'll probably go through, if we're not tilling it anymore, we'll probably go through and at least get the huge ones. That'll probably help these heads not blowing apart. And then the disc. We have no bin storage as of now. Me and my dad really just started this farming real hard again, maybe 2-3 years ago. He was almost retired, and then we both got it back into it together. So we're still kind of a new operation. Our family farmed since 1936, and my grandpa died and he kind of got out of it a bit, but we're really building quick. Got a pretty nice sized farm now, but you know how that goes. It takes a while to build up all the equipment, so we're kind of going cheap with everything. This combine only has 2,600 hours on it, so it was a nice barn find that Dad got a few years ago. So I mean, this thing pays for itself in one day basically. You can't beat that. Well, one more pass and this thing should be all the way full. But if I just go at this speed all day and no breakdowns, we really can have some production. It's doing a really good job, especially for just eyeing it. many of you guys out there ran one of these 6620 turbos out there? Comment and tell me when you did. I know some people out there are still running them. My grandpa had a real nice model. I believe it was a 9530 10 years ago. That was real nice. You give me one of them, I'm gonna knock a bunch out, I'll tell you that. Just gotta work up to it, find a good deal. Below our barn find. Another issue we got is, like a lot of you out there, these entrances to these fields are all small, and our barns aren't big enough to put some real big combine in it, so we'd have to actually build another barn just for the combine. This thing almost scrapes the rafters when we go in now, so once you upgrade on the combine, you kind of got to upgrade on a lot of stuff. And we need a new header cart. This thing, you can just drive it down the road, it's so small. It's a little risky around here with these city people, they'll run right into you. I appreciate you guys all watching. I've been doing this YouTube channel for maybe a year and a few months, maybe a year and 4 months now, and it's going pretty good. It's kind of neat meeting people in public that watch my videos and know a bunch about our lives and our operation. It's kind of interesting. You got to get used to it. I go to John Deere and half the guys there know everything we're doing, which is pretty good. Slowly building, name of the game. I always tell my dad if I was a good looking pretty girl, I would already be a millionaire probably. Yeah, it looks like these beans are just getting better and better, so I'll do this pass here, hopefully we not be overflowing, and then I'll show you guys a dump maybe on my grandpa's old grain wagon, grain trailer, hopper bottom. We use a lot of stuff my family's been had paid off since the 90s. That's the only way you make any money nowadays. Our most modern big tractor is a 4255 from the early 90s. Easier to work on. No def. What's surprising about this combine is I don't see a lot of grasshoppers in the bin. I think the new, more modern ones, like the 9500 I've driven, I've seen hundreds of them in there. We just had to put a new feeder house on this during wheat season. It grenaded. The bearing on the right side over here shook itself apart and ripped apart the feeder house. So Dad went and drove, I want to say it was in Illinois maybe, I can't remember, but I think it was like 4 hours each way to get the feeder house. It was in good shape, and I guess the tractor broke somewhere else, so it was off, ready to go. We just went and picked it up. That took us about a week to put on, just because we suck at mechanic work and we're doing other stuff. This thing's running really good though, no mistake, no problems yet. And And then while we had the feeder house off, we fixed the brass bars. They were original from the 80s. Since this thing only has 2,500 hours on it, that's when they start going bad. So they're a little worn down, so that was a pretty big job. We did that. This thing seems like it's harvesting good. Not a bunch coming out the back. There's a few rust holes right through the bottom of the augers that we fixed with some fancy tape. Let's go dump. Yeah, I'm surprised I've kept all these teeth on. I thought I'd be replacing them all day. This head has a lot of flexibility, so it really helps. It took about 20 minutes. Would have been quicker in the longer spots. Not bad for a little operation. Just as long as we're making progress and no breakdowns, that's all we're worried about. Did a pretty good job. Little Goose the dog's in the truck. The old rusty but trusty trailer. Can't fill this thing up too full, she'll blow apart, I tell you. Well, any of you driven one of these? I could run the auger quicker, I'm just trying to be easy on the old girl. watching. Like and subscribe. It helps me out. Appreciate you.